about a 21-year-old man from Mariong in the city vicinity of King Street, armed with a knife, wearing a balaclava. Over the next 6 minutes, I can only describe what would have been terrifying carnage in and around that area, where the 21-year-old man has stabbed a 41-year-old woman in the back. That appears to be a random attack. 3 members of the public, which can only be described as the highest order heroes, have engaged this 21-year-old man and have placed him essentially under arrest, even though he was brandishing a large butcher's knife and was clearly dangerous and had motive. A number of other emergency services were in the vicinity and responded shortly after, and police put this individual in custody. During the next 30 minutes, an expanded crime scene has identified, unfortunately, a 21-year-old woman who is currently unidentified in a unit block in Clarence Street, deceased. All of the available information that we have at hand would link these 2 crimes. Our counter-terrorist command immediately stood up, and the joint counter-terrorist team that includes New South Wales Police, state and federal agencies have assessed all the available information in relation to this crime, and it is not currently classed as a terrorist incident. Obviously, as the investigation continues, we will reassess that. There is no information that we are looking for any other offenders in relation to the terrible homicide and the stabbing of the 41-year-old woman. However, we can't discount potentially other crime scenes as we expand the canvas. He is, by definition, at the moment, a lone actor. Information was found on him that would suggest he had some ideologies in relation to terrorism, but he has no links to terrorism. There is no current intelligence on this individual, and he has no apparent links to other terrorist organisations. I would say again, in this situation, is that whilst we try and stop every crime from happening, there are cases that when we can't, and then often we'll be judged on our response. The response by members of the community, the heroic nature of their actions that saved countless lives, the response from police and other emergency services was first rate. But unfortunately, we have lost the life of a decent person, and we have another 41-year-old woman stabbed. Homicide police from New South Wales State Crime Command are deployed and will take the lead in the investigation, and we will, of course, leave no stone unturned in terms of this individual, his history, obviously what occurred during the course of today. I will pass over to the Minister of Police and then the Deputy Premier, and I will come back for questions.
Thank you, Commissioner. Can I start by saying that the Commissioner has assured me that the city is safe. There is no reason for any citizen to consider their life in danger. There's no reason for us to not go about our usual business. As the Commissioner has said, all indications are that the offender acted alone, and I think that is an important piece of information for the community to know. But the city tonight celebrates 3 brand new heroes, and I think that it would only be appropriate for the Commissioner and I to thank those 3 individual citizens who I think have acted well and truly beyond the call of any citizen in bringing this offender to bear. Can I also congratulate those firefighters who we've identified as having also gone beyond the call of duty and being involved in the apprehension of the offender. I'll be looking to making sure that they get the appropriate accolades, and I'll be ensuring that everybody knows that this is how Sydney-siders respond. If you want to behave in this sort of manner, if you want to put life and property at risk in this city, just be aware it's not just the police that will respond, it's the citizens, it's the fireys, it's the ambos, and it's anybody else who thinks that their city is going to be given that sort of disrespect. This could have been much worse. This incident, in my mind, looking at the footage and the briefing from the Commissioner, suggests to me that this could have been a much worse situation, if not for the response from the police and the citizens and the fireys that we've already mentioned. Can I, again, congratulate the Commissioner and the officers of the New South Wales Police Force for the work that they've done. Can I reassure the community that they can go about their lives? Of course, there's a crime scene around the hotel CBD, and people that live and work around there need to be conscious of that. Please be patient with the investigators, and naturally, people that are commuting home through that part of Sydney today should expect to take that little bit longer. And my appeal to them is maybe consider delaying their return home if they possibly can. But I don't want anybody to think that they can't go about their lives, because if we do that, anybody that behaves like that has won. And in my mind, we can't let the offenders destroy the way that we like to live in this city. I now hand over to the Deputy Premier.
Thank you, Minister. Firstly, I just want to reconfirm that this is still a live police investigation, but I do want to assure the public that all government agencies will assist with the police in understanding the events of today and leading into today. And of course, there will be many questions over the next few days that we will work to and work towards answering. I also want to acknowledge those members of the public, those citizens, those bystanders, those tonight that we are calling heroes for the effort to contain a situation that could have been worse, to put their own physical well-being, their own lives on the line to protect their fellow citizens is one that should be commended and one that we do acknowledge tonight. And for all those men and women, especially the response from the public and our emergency services personnel, I also want to echo the comments of the Minister in relation to thanking the New South Wales Police for their efforts on making sure today was minimised to as best as possible. With that, we'll take questions.